you're good for a couple minutes.
This is the whole effing show. Rob Van Dam. You're watching Nug Life TV, and it's 420.
It's time for Nug Life Radio. A higher level of education for the cannabis counterculture community. Featuring Medicinal Mike with the cannabis correspondent, Benjie. Like us on Facebook.com/NugLifeRadioShow, Twitter @TheRealNugLife, and Instagram, Nug Life Radio. I'm your announcer, Recreational Riley. Here's Medicinal Mike.
Everybody, welcome to the Nug Life Radio Show, a higher level of education for the cannabis counterculture community. I am your host, Medicinal Mike, cannabis comedian, event host, with, of course, the beautiful Benjie Cooper, who is our news, our education, and our brain. We have got a great show for you today. We are going to have on live later on, as soon as it gets situated, the legend, the man, the myth, Rob Van Dam himself. Don't want you guys to forget that April 15th is going to be Kushstock. You're going to have the Donuts for Dollars Drift Car Show out there. You're also going to have the Wrestle Sesh, which is the only cannabis-themed wrestling show in the world that makes sense. I can see RVD out of the corner. He's doing like normal people stuff, and it's tripping me out. Folding a receipt.
Right, he's like checking his list and checking it twice.
And of course, our producer, Paul Brumbaugh, cannabis comedian, show producer, superstar, doing great things. 420, don't forget, is going to be, I forgot, the San Diego Cannabis Farmers Cup out there in beautiful San Diego, California. They're going to have a huge event, and there's going to be all kinds of things you can get, like packs from all the best growers, and it's all legal, and it's all done out there in San Diego Cannabis Farmers Cup, if you're looking for it. And then April 22nd, my own favorite, me and the Godfather from WWE Hall of Fame are going to be doing the commentary for the Wrestle Sesh out there in Los Angeles, Van Nuys. It's going to be great. Again, I am your host, Medicinal Mike, and on the top of the hour news right now, just reported, is 4 students from a Boston school were brought in to the hospital for edibles, cannabis edibles.
No, so it's not like one of those, what is it, Delta 9 things? It's the real deal?
No, I think they got their hands on the real deal, and I just learned, too, because I ate 10 milligrams, thinking nothing of it. And then eventually ate the other 90, and then I thought somebody had spiked it with LSD. I used to eat 1,000 milligrams a day at the HempCon shows, these events.
Right.
And swore to God that they put, I was like, this has acid in it. But this was like from the cannabis farmers market, so it was tested, and I know it was good.
Right.
And then it turned out that it was just me being a big wuss. That never happens.
Never. Not once.
It's a fantastic thing. If you are eating your edibles, remember, you can always eat more. You can never eat less. And don't bring them to school.
Yeah, no.
Don't bring them to school, kids. And if you do get caught, don't rat your parents out. Where'd you find them? A kid dropped them in the hallway. We thought they were regular gummies.
Thanks for dropping that PSA on the kids like that. Just boom, like that.
What kind of car is Rob Van Dam driving around? It looks like a...
I thought it was an Escalade or something.
It's something crazy.
Oh, he's telling us.
Let's bring him on. Right. Welcome our next guest of the show, who is now free and clear. We want to welcome the legendary, most recently inducted into the Hall of Fame for the WWE, the only man to ever hold consecutive wrestling belts in multiple federations. I think all the federations at the same time.
And he's the newest WWE one, right?
He's become the face of cannabis, because he's a hero to so many when we're young, and then he kind of normalized it by just making it a super cool thing. Welcome to the show, Rob Van Dam. RVD, you there, brother?
Yes, sir. Don't forget to mention my Nug Life Championship.
The Nug Life Championship Lifetime Achievement Belt. And let me tell you, Rob, when I was a little kid, and I'm not much, we're not a big difference in age, but I got to watch you at the Silver Nugget, I believe, in Las Vegas, Nevada. It was an ECW, and you said a comment to another wrestler. We were front row, and you said, "Did you hear I'm winning the belt tonight?" As if you didn't know, or did you hear I won the belt? That's because you just won a belt. And you went, "Did you hear that I won the belt?" And I was like, to my little brother, I go, "You see that? He didn't know he was going to win. This shit is real." And it brought it all back. And then to see that you were promoting cannabis in such a positive way, and And you weren't doing it because you weren't, getting extra money or anything. You were just saying, hey, cannabis helps. And that's why you're awesome. What is your whole...
That's really cool. No, the whole lifetime achievement means a lot more to me now that, I don't know, I guess at this stage in life, just feeling like the award is more for a whole lifetime of efforts and what I've done in that particular area. I have a lifetime achievement award from my very first kickboxing instructor, and obviously the belt isn't for being the best world champion kickboxer, but for everything that I've done to represent the sport and what I've done carrying the education and experience that he gave me and what I did with that, and so I like that. I like collecting those lifetime achievement awards.
Just collect them all.
Yeah.
And well, with cannabis too, I've never seen where you try to, it was never part of the gimmick, in fact, it was almost the opposite of the gimmick, because you were just such a responsible cannabis person. It was always straight to the CBD, or, like, why do you use cannabis?
Yeah, so for me, if you remember, I never used to use cannabis on camera, and that was part of my own personal policy, because I didn't, I have a lot of fans that are kids, and then I have a lot of parents that might have not understood the message and might have thought, that I was, a compromised role model at that point. Now it's time. I mean, it's not even looked at in a lot of places as an illegal drug. I mean, there's only 30 states now that don't have some kind of medical or recreational program, and it's a law that's a stupid law that's just going to phase out. Just like it used to be illegal to be gay, it used to be illegal to be black, and it's like someday we're going to look back at cannabis prohibition as a time of darkness. It's like you don't, like, when I first started being an advocate, it was probably 97 or so, and I remember Tracy Smothers, because I was doing the High Times magazine interview, and Tracy Smothers was like, hey man, don't do this, you're going to put a big target on your back, just enjoy what you do, just go out in the corner, whatever, just be discreet, you're going to get yourself in trouble. And I was thinking, but it's...
And you're still showing up, too. He'd be at those events and be like, don't look at me, and just taking these giant dabs, and we'd have to, security the cameras.
No, but I always wanted to be vocal about it. I didn't want to just hide and do my own thing, and then, I wanted everyone to know that it should be legal, that all the reasons given since 1937 were a bunch of, bullshit. And then I felt, it's empathy. You don't have to be a person of color to believe that you shouldn't own one. You know what I mean? It's empathy. And people think that, I don't even smoke, but they say it's not that bad. You don't have to be a smoker. You just have to understand common sense, So for me, it's always been about the greater good. I don't just vote on something that's going to work in my favor and say, like the rest of society. For me, it's the opposite.
Have you had to work with any of the children that are using cannabis medicine, or I know you've worked in CBD for a while, or have were those worlds crossed?
Right. The closest time that I can think of, I do know some kids who use with their parents, but you remember we all got turned on by Sanjay Gupta when he did that special on Charlotte's Web. And you were actually the one that hooked me up with my first CBD oil, Mike. I had a broken ankle, and they wanted to give me some of that. And back then it was that thick, black, oily shit, before we really learned to refine it and learn
testing
what to do with. Yeah, without the modern extraction process, it was something different back then. But I'd never heard that about, I knew that it helped the kids with seizures, allegedly, according to the documentary, and to some other things that I've looked to. But sure enough, it can help with bones. mending broken bones. It helps determine the density and thickness that your bones are gonna form to, and when it takes over your internal cannabinoid system, it's like a message. It's like hooking your truck up to a diagnostic testing,
Right.
and it'll go through your whole message system, find things that are wrong with you, fix them. And since I got involved in my own brand and helping other people, I've gotten such great feedback, from everything from headaches to menstrual cycles to just
what is it doing
like
for the menstrual cycles? Can you make
Regulating.
something that gets rid of them completely? That isn't pregnancy.
Yeah, I don't know. I've always been lucky. None of my girls go through that.
Right, and you have.
That's one of the requirements to be in my hair.
So you're an open. You have an open poly relationship, or you're open about your poly relationship, or not?
I'm open about
Or
everything.
you open now?
I'm very candid, and I don't mind. I talk about everything. Always. So, I'm as open. Am I frozen?
No, you freeze back and forth, but we can hear you clearly. As I say that right in the audio. There you are.
Okay, I'm just pulling into the house right now, so maybe that'll
Connected
be better.
to the
I am
home
open
Wi-Fi.
Anyway, you know what? I don't really do labels, and I don't really fit into categories, and I'm the kind of guy that never says I'm the kind of guy.
See, that's the kind of guy we're all trying to be. So we need you to. It's got to be the RVD-ism. We're going to create the label now. What would RVD do? I want that on my bracelet.
We're already manufacturing them as we speak.
In an attempt to share my perspective on life and the thoughts behind my actions and decisions, I do film something called RVDology, and I show it on my YouTube page at The Real RVD, and I really enjoy the feedback I get from that. It gets real deep and personal. I share some stories that no one's ever heard before, and hopefully everyone can apply these things towards their life, unless they disagree with me, and then it strengthens their own opinion on how you live.
Your home is beautiful. We just got like the rip through, like the MTV Cribs rip through. Hello, precious.
This is Barbie.
We got Ace in studio all jealous over on the couch.
Right, yeah, we have our mascot dog over here in the corner. Where's your belt?
Why see two of me? Why do I see two of me? Why can't I see?
Oh,
like
now
one
you
of
can see. Now you can see.
Oh, you were blink blonking him.
No, he always sees what goes out. He sees what's going live.
So now I have poly questions. I've tried and attempted to have poly relationships, and some have been great, and some have not. And I'm trying to be real open about it. And I use you as the example. I'm like, look, he's doing it great. Look how happy they look. I'm like, they're so happy.
Right.
What's like the secret to that?
Really just wanting the same thing, the same kind of life. It's like, I don't allow drama in my life. Sometimes I can't help it. I got to deal with a little bit, but then I got to solve it and fix it. People that have a lot of drama every day, I don't know how they do it, but I think the status quo does. People hate their job, they hate their family, they hate their kids, whatever, their situations. I'm not in any of that, just all day long. I'm super stoked. I'm happy, grateful. And I like to be around other people that feel the same way. And Katie definitely feels the same way. Jennifer feels the same way. And we don't argue. And we really just are each other's favorite people. So it's like we just want the best for each other. Like Katie's happiness really is my happiness. I've never had a relationship like that. I was married for almost 20 years.
Right.
And looking back at it, I don't feel like I even knew that bitch, because we were so distant, and there was so many times that I got conflicting information from her about important stuff about her, and also because we were just such a bad match, we would end up fighting about everything. So it's easy to leave that and just form an opinion and assume that's how she always is. This bitch was crazy. She always wanted to fight. really, she might not be like that if she was with someone that was more of a match for her. I don't know. I just know the two of us didn't fit, and it caused a lot of grief. That was really unnecessary. I didn't want that. I wanted to be. I wanted a life of zen. And shortly after I met Katie, we started dating. Within the first few weeks, I just realized like she knows me more than my ex-wife ever knew me, because she understands when I'm speaking to her. She knows I'm telling her the truth. The evil ex would always be trying to decipher what I'm saying, try to figure out what is he really saying behind that. What's the secret message? There is no secret message. I'm saying good morning.
Right. I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Just want food.
But really, yeah, but I mean, it really is. I can see that now that I got the bigger picture. Now I can see that doesn't necessarily mean that she was always that crazy around everyone. She very well could be, whatever. But I realized that we were always just a fight waiting to happen, because it's not easy to live with someone unless it's someone that's really easy to live with.
You know who I feel bad for is the next guy that has to date one of your exes when you're like pictures on the wall and he's like, oh, I fucking love Rob Van Dam. No, yeah, that was my ex-husband. Like, oh, okay, I'm cool. I'm gonna leave now.
Well,
Swipe left.
I can tell you, that my evil ex's current husband had a lot of RVD, because he was our handyman. He was the Mexican dude that would change our toilets, and like paint our.
Well, this doesn't mean he has to stop changing your toilets, or you can have him come over. You can still clean my toilet, bro. You never really stopped.
There's a lot of different ways, to look at like the betrayal aspect of it, but I'm just so happy right now, as you pointed out, that I'm grateful for that motherfucker. I'm so grateful that they did whatever they did and that it turned out the way that it did, because otherwise I wouldn't be as happy. I'd be living in complacency and not knowing the difference.
Well,
I'd be making myself happy living to my own standards, meaning that I would be able to stay faithful and stay committed, and things like that I respect about myself, but with the wrong person.
Right. Preach.
That's right. Hallelujah, brother. What flavor are you smoking today, Rob? I just want to know what you're smoking, dude.
I'm not really sure what the weed is, but I definitely have RVD rolling paper.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's cool.
We still haven't gotten ours in the mail yet, right, Mike?
I actually have quite a few packs of RVD rolling paper. You want me to bring you some in?
Yes, please.
All right,
do.
I'll bring you some in.
That would be good.
Hey,
Thank
man,
you.
don't bogart the RVD papers.
Yeah,
right?
I do, man. You never know. I smoke a lot of papers. I can't run out.
And we go through them here, dude. We really go through them here. I'm telling you now, man.
So, where's your belt? I know it's close. I thought it would be hanging on the mantle right there in the main entryway where everybody could see it when they walk in. I'm actually shocked you're not wearing it. Like, I figure you just wear that every day in public. The giant.
We'll take a look at it, but I gotta be quiet because Katie's sleeping.
Okay, we'll talk. We'll mush ourselves.
Be quiet. We'll go creeping through his house.
He has that cool 70s culture,
like
art
Deco.
Yeah,
stuff.
it's a 70s like party house, and we took the vibe and just went with it. So here we go, dude.
Oh, there you go.
Cannabis activist.
There's the one right there. Look at how that's the sickest out of all the belts I was lucky enough to give out. He has the sickest design.
Right.
Ah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So Paul would like to challenge you for the belt in the ring.
I'm ready for it, man. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for my moment of fame. I'm telling you.
As you can see, in all seriousness, I don't keep very many belts, so that does mean a lot to me. I have the TV television championship, which I defended for like 2 years. That's the real deal. And then I got I told you about the kickboxing lifetime achievement. And then yours, and then these are just 2 replicas. Those are just toys that somebody gave me. Like, they're just there because they're there. But I only have these 3 actual real
And if
Real
some of
belt,
you out
but
there
I-
listening don't remember ECW, it was like one of the first, and it was the bloodiest. Like you had to work. That's a you would see Rob flipping around in the ring, like flying from pole to pole.
Look at that wall, man. I'm loving the wall, dude.
Ah,
that.
these are-
What are those? Those
Love
all
it.
wrestlers?
Those are either books
Yeah,
or action
they're all
figures
the-
or his toys.
They're all this wrestler, dude.
No way.
Yeah, that's bitchin', dude.
No way. Whoa.
Every single one of these is. Oh, and by the way, this is cool. It's the Chase Stoned RVD. Can you see my eyes in that one?
Who's
It's
your
a Chase figure.
Who-
It's a Chase figure.
Who was your favorite wrestler growing up? Oh, look at with the ring. Oh man, I could have a field day in there.
Some of those are exclusive with the set. So in order to get this guy, I had to get the whole thing. Same with that guy. You know, all of them. Look at this guy. These guys are like life-size fucking figures. I had to get
Wow.
in order to get.
Man, I had
that
so
one.
much. Are those the ones you bounce them on the toes and they flip forward?
No, these guys are big, heavy ones.
Look
Oh,
at
I
that.
had the
Look at
ring. I
that
had the steel
rope.
cage.
Impact Run. Yeah.
I got the RVD Funko Pop. You have one of
Okay,
those yet?
Dude, this is the collection.
Oh, there it
We're not
is.
gonna-
There it is.
Yeah.
Actually, I better go check if mine's still there now.
Now, yeah, it makes it, hey, that looks just,
Yeah.
That looks just like mine.
One thing that's pretty cool in the action figure world, Mattel was releasing the first in the new series WWE RVD, and they had to recall it because it has the Japanese flag outfit, which I wore at WrestleMania 23, and it's controversial now because of some kind of situation with Korea, and so that flag isn't cool anymore. I guess it's now kind of like our redneck rebel flag. or
Right,
whatever.
right.
So they pulled it, and now even to get it outside of the package, like what do they call it? A loose figure, as they call it. I'm told it's still, you can't even find it, but if you do find it, it's at least $500. And that's for this guy right here.
Oh, check it out.
wow.
Yeah,
Oh, I know people that would just chew their arm off to get that.
yeah. I want to
John
find it
Allen.
in the package. Yeah,
Bitchin'.
yeah.
Oh, look at that
The
collection.
briefcase. The briefcase.
The briefcase.
People always want to know. People always want to know if I actually have the real Money in the Bank briefcase that I won back when I cashed in and beat John Cena. That's the deal there.
All right, so
This
what
is
do you
a tough-
store in the briefcase,
What,
though?
yeah, what's in the briefcase now?
briefcase?
Just indica
You know, I
or
don't even-
sativa?
I wonder what's in there. I don't even know if I can open it. Like, that'd be weird
Here we
if I...
go.
It's just gonna be
This is an exclusive. Mike.
RVD Clonacock sex dildos signed.
You never watch the money be in there. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, right.
Oh, you
I
never
used
looked?
to- No, I used to actually use it as a carry-on bag because we traveled so much that it's really not convenient to carry an extra briefcase when you're squeezing everything you can in your carry-ons anyway. So I used to use that as my carry-on bag, and I would load it with socks and underwear and stuff.
And do you still have the strip club in your house?
Yes.
That's fucking.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He has a strip club in his house.
Yeah.
Okay.
You ever watch
Yeah.
Silver Spoons when you were a kid, and the
Yeah,
kid had
that-
all the
you-
toys?
This is like Ricky Schroeder's place. Okay, gotcha.
These are sellout shows in Japan that I was in, and with All Japan, which was from '93 to '99. And when we would wrestle, the big ones were the big Budokan shows.
Oh wow!
Oops. Yeah, that way. And then the smaller ones would be either smaller shows, or they were all Budokan shows, and these were sold out, and these weren't. I can't remember really. But anyway, I did a lot of tours to Japan. Last summer, I went twice. I wrestled in June, and I wrestled in July for my 22nd trip to Japan.
And then Japan, what'd you do to him?
Oh,
we
he's
went
still
into
there.
the
He's
dark.
still there. He
went to
took
the
us through
dark.
the dark.
Oh wait,
Yeah,
someone's sleeping.
just reload.
Someone's sleeping. Gotta creep through the hallway.
And I'll transition over to you just till he gets back here. We'll be back with him.
I've been to
He's gonna come back.
I've been to Rob's house many times, and there's no place more fun. It looks like Hugh Hefner's. Like it's right outside. What you can't see is there's the pool right there outside those big glass
Right.
walls.
Right.
And then we have he has the strip club where they can do they do comedy shows. Plus they can watch strippers with chairs and benches. Did you lose him?
No, he's there and he's got good signal. So.
Okay, we'll wait for him to chime back in. If you haven't seen Sharknado, he got to do Sharknado 5, I believe it was.
Right.
If you follow the Sharknado series, you could see RVD getting eaten.
Really?
By a shark.
Greatest.
Well, did we break him?
No, he's still.
Did we hit our free Zoom?
No,
time on there?
We're at that time though.
We were
really close to that time.
We were almost there. He was going to show us the bathroom. I want to see what Rob Dan
He
goes
still
to
says
the
he's there.
Oh, I hear
well,
you.
I hear
There
you.
he is.
We hear you.
All right, let me get back to that page.
We go.
There we
Look
are.
at
We're
Yeah,
back.
man,
Now
that
let's
worked.
transition
Yeah.
him over.
That was weird. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I was filling in the blanks. You got to do Sharknado. I was telling him. Which one? He has tell us a story about where you went to the other country and then got recognized for Sharknado. Was that what it was? That movie or?
Dude, I'm not sure which story you're talking about, but I did do a movie called Three-Headed Shark Attack.
That's what it was.
One of the shark movies.
One of the giant
Okay.
sharks. Same production people.
All right, gotcha.
And did you get eaten by the shark?
Spoiler alert.
You see me swimming, and then you see me go down. You see my head go down, and so you can assume what you want, but I've always been optimistic and never saw any chewed up body parts spit up. So I think I made it.
He's down there giving him the frog splash and
Yeah. I think I came up later after the cameras were down and everything.
I'm ready for the sequel.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite thing about working with the weed community? I know you have so many.
I guess I would say maybe the people, you know what I mean? Like overall, not just because I have a lot in common with people that like weed, but overall they seem like, people that smoke weed seem like they're cool people. And one thing that was cool when I started RVD CBD, which I'm not gonna take time plugging that because I'll soon be making some big news and explaining what happened, but basically, I better wait till
You're in transition. You're in transition.
Basically, just like a lot of my ventures, I had some partners that ripped me off and lined their pockets, and so it ends up just like with the movie Headstrong. All the money went to someone else, but at least I got to help a lot of people. So,
Yeah.
but it is true. It helped a lot of people. And man, when I just started getting into it, I've been an advocate for forever, but I kind of took a break from it because it used to be an uphill kind of battle. Back in like 97, 98, I felt like, man, people are killing themselves with cigarettes and they don't understand that that's so much worse. And that's how I felt, like I'd be passing people on the way to get into the airport, getting their last puff. So you'd have to go through a big group of people that were smoking.
Remember the Jack Slammy show in Vegas?
Yeah.
Rob also does stand-up comedy very, very well. He's a headliner out there, and I got to open for him in a show in Vegas. And when you go in there, it's just a cloud of smoke, and you just hear Rob. It's like, can we put the cigarettes out?
I couldn't take it. I can't take it. Yeah, it's like it's obvious to me what a big difference there is between the toxic smoke and the magic smoke because I can't take it in. My body rejects it, but. Anyway, people really thought it was the other way around.
Super healthy. You're like, you don't do any cigarettes. I don't see you like ever really drinking. Not to say you don't socially drink, but I don't see you, pounding a bottle.
Well, health is very important to me. And
how much do you work out a day? How much do you have to maintain that? What are we like 4 or 5 hours?
Usually like 2 hours. But the thing with that is that then if I stretch, then it's like a whole nother hour. to stretch, and then I like to tan, and that's this long, and then I like to sit in the sauna, and that's this long. So it takes so much just to lift weights, and so it really, it really depends, and I mix it up. I'm not a formula guy at all, and because of that, a lot of times I wake up thinking I'm going to work out first thing in the morning, and then I end up doing it last thing at night because everything else seems more important to me, shit that I had to get done, or whatever. But
do you smoke weed before you work out, or is that an after
I smoke
thing?
weed before everything. Yeah.
Before everything.
Kind of like us. Okay, good.
That'll answer all your questions. Yeah.
That's we were doing dabs, I remember, in a parking lot once, me and Rob, and they called us in like to do comedy like right after a huge choking dab, where you're just getting shushed onto stage. Do you feel like cannabis helps your comedy act or hinders it? Some comics don't like to smoke because they'll forget everything they were going to say.
I just think overall that it makes me feel like I'm at my best overall, and then being at my best makes me produce my best. So I've always hit it from that angle when I'm asked to explain, because I've heard a lot of athletes talk about how they really appreciate the anti-inflammatory effects of cannabis. I can't tell you that I've ever noticed an anti-inflammatory effect. Like I never smoked it and said, "Wow, the swelling of my elbow has gone down." I haven't. I had never. But it increases my spiritual vibration, and that is based on how you feel. When you feel bad, you vibrate in a good way, and when you feel bad, you vibrate in a bad way. You feel good, you vibrate in a good way, and you can't have bad thoughts and feel good, and vice versa. So it's all connected. And for me, after I smoke, I feel my frequency is higher. I feel better. Any of the negative distractions, because they're all the same if you look at it from a spiritual perspective. Like, let's say I traveled the night before, whether I'm doing comedy or wrestling. Let's say I've been traveling. Maybe I didn't sleep that good last night. Maybe it was a red-eye flight. Maybe I haven't eaten. Maybe my stomach's upset. Maybe I got cramps, diarrhea, whatever. Maybe I got the flu. Maybe I'm feeling under the weather. Any of that is anti-performance factors. And so when you want to be at your best, those are all going to bring you down. And they do, when they do that, it lowers your spiritual vibration to a less frequency, to where you're putting out a less much appreciated and less received version of you. And so for me, if it was a memory test, I might not, smoke 1-to-1, 4 or 5 back to back, to get the best edge on the memory test, just like if it was a holding my breath underwater test. But the shorter, really specific things like that, I always feel like I'm at my best.
Are you more of like an indica or sativa type of guy?
I like a hybrid, more of a sativa.
More of the up it is. The up it is.
Yeah, I don't. Sometimes I'll come across something and it just because I like to smoke a lot, especially when I'm home. Then I have the freedom to do it. And if I'm working on the phone, on the computer all day, I'll like roll one after another, and it gets me like through the day. When I'm traveling, guess what? Now my weed lasts a lot longer because I'm not touching it. But sometimes I'll come across something, and I'm like, man, I got no energy, and I just keep wanting to nap, and I'm so tired. And a lot of times the weed will get blamed on it if it's too indica heavy.
That's cool. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing all the cool things that you're doing. I know you just had a special go out on A&E that's not aired yet, but you just filmed it. You want to plug that?
No, it's too early to plug that.
Too early to plug it?
Too early to plug that.
So close for that exclusive.
There goes that exclusive.
Oh, so close.
I've been told not to, so
All right.
I mean, I'll just be. But
Thanks for the teaser, though. That was good, though.
Always doing cool things. I'm still wrestling, still doing, some stand-up, still doing some acting, and I'm just consistent. I've always been into consistency, and it works great for me. I've always said I'm just a little busier than I want to be, and that still is the situation. So Dark Side of the Ring is coming back. I don't know if you followed that, but they got a lot of heat for a while, and we're maybe not going to come back, and they were going to come back, but then they were going to do a show on Mike Awesome, and then his family didn't want them to do it, and so they backed up, and then now they contacted me today and said they're going forward with doing it on Sandman, and so
I remember Sandman.
you know, yeah, so that'll be on Vice. You know, there's a Hulk Hogan documentary that I pulled myself from because Hulk didn't want me to do it, and I'm a loyal motherfucker.
Loyal Hulkster.
You know, yeah, I'm loyal to the end. That's the thing, you know. Is like I'm already drawing the line. I did this RVDology episode last night for my YouTube page, and putting it together, I never realized how many times I drew the line in my career. Like, as far as I got, you know, it's amazing that I accomplished so much, considering how many times I walked out on my own accord.
Rob, I'm going to run out of his prepaid Zoom time. Who can I have you plug?
Dude, find me everywhere at The Real RVD. I really want to get some people to my YouTube page. I spend a lot of time on that, and that's where you keep up with me, because when I do things like go and wrestle and comedy or travel, whatever, I film it and I make episodes and I put it on my YouTube page. So that's where to keep up with me the best, at The Real RVD.
Well, we thank you so much for spending time with us, our lifetime achiever. Thank you for keeping weed strong and getting the message out there and using all your cool star power stuff to do awesome things. Personally, thank you for living a poly relationship that I could admire and aspire to have of my own someday. Paul, too, you can't be in my poly, but you can have your own thing.
I'm living vicariously through you all. That's what I'm doing, man. So
all we can do is study life and pay attention to what serves us better and what serves us less. I use my vibration. If you bring my vibration down, I'm gonna stay away from you or it. If the opposite is true, I want more of that in my life.
Nice. Well, we are all seeking high vibrations. Make sure you follow Rob Van Dam at The Real RVD. And again, thank you, brother. We appreciate you. And I'll see you personally again soon. And we will smoke out on some good dank stuff.
Right on. Much love, guys.
Hey, be
much
safe,
love.
brother.
Right on, man.
That was the real Rob Van Dam RVD here on the Nug Life Radio Show, a higher level of education for the cannabis counterculture community. Make sure you follow him at The Real RVD on Instagram. You could see him performing stand-up comedy. You could see him doing meet and greets. He's still out there wrestling. The man is like in the best shape of his life. All my wrestling friends are in really great shape, like the Godfather, RVD, like
they all just
like monsters still, and like to where you're like bigger than you were when I remember as a kid. I still get when I get to hang out with RVD, I get all flustered and start. And I mean, I've known him years now, but I'm just like, hey, I'm in Rob Van Dam's house.
Well, like even me, you know, before the show, I'm talking about my love handles. It's like, which way do you want to get me? And it's like, these guys don't have to worry about any of that stuff.
No. But I don't know if I could do 4-6 hours a day in the gym. That's a lot of gymming.
That is a lot.
I do like 1 hour, and I'm like exhausted. I mean, I'm exhausted. Right. We've got some great stuff coming up for you. We've got Benjie Cooper will be with us. We're going to do the Nug Life news. And before that, enjoy some fun things that me and Benjie used to do back in the day with some Nuppets. Make sure you follow out The Real Rob Van Dam, Nug Life Radio. We'll be right back in 1 minute. Watch the puppet stuff.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Nuppet News. I'm your host, Russ Richmond.
I'm Burner.
Burner, that's what you're going with.
Like
okay.
Madonna.
Okay. Tonight's top story, a diamond shape, the letters THC, and an exclamation point.
That spells pot.
No, that's the makeup of a new symbol created by the Colorado Marijuana Enforcement Division. It's a symbol that's part of the rules that were passed in August 2014 intended to reduce the risk of an accidental ingestion of marijuana edibles. The diamond THC symbol will be applied directly to the edible itself in addition
How do you accidentally ingest an edible? If you put it in your mouth, seems to be the only way. Do you fall on it?
I'm trying to do the news here.
I'll be quiet. Why?
marijuana, 100% dangerous. That's the slogan at the front of a new public awareness campaign in New York aimed at decreasing the use of synthetic cannabis. Since January, there have been 2 deaths and more than 6,000 people have been sent to emergency rooms. The awareness campaign is running in bus shelters, phone kiosks, homeless shelters, and other places. Tonight, we are reviewing Pirate Candy Company.
Yay, pirate candy.
Delicious.
This is good. It's chocolate. It's the Quadzilla. There's 4 pieces.
And it's infused with RSO, or Rick Simpson oil, which is one of the best plant extraction methods.
So this can cure me and be a good time.
Exactly. It's delicious and medicine.
This is medicine?
It's a lot of medicine, 240 milligrams worth of medicine.
Don't try and smoke it. It's chocolate.
And as always, with all edibles, please medicate wisely and responsibly. That's it from the Nug Life TV, Nuppet News.
Nug Life Radio, Nug Life TV,
Nug Life-
Instagram,
All of the above.
MySpace, Facebook.
You can catch us on all of those.
This your first day?
It is my first day.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Tune in next week.
Oh, Jesus. Welcome back to the Nug Life Radio Show, a higher level of education for the cannabis counterculture community. I am your host, Medicinal Mike, here with the very sexy and lovely Benjie Cooper. Benjie.
How's it going?
Thank you, brother. Did you get to hear any of the RVD interview?
Oh, I heard the whole thing.
He's
I was watching on my tablet.
He's my hero. That was great. You got to meet Rob, too, didn't you, when we did a smoking thing somewhere out west?
Yeah, and actually, I videoed one of his comedy sets at one of the events we were at.
And he's a good stand-up comic, man.
Mm-hmm. He was funny.
I like the old wrestling, like any kind of wrestler that gets up there and can like funny up the old wrestling stories and stuff. Really brings the nostalgia. How about them puppets there? Did you see the stick floating? The giant, I think it was a drumstick we use as the arm piece.
The glass is falling off of my puppet.
Yeah, that was high quality. You know, those puppets when we got them were $20 a piece, and now for that same set, it's over $200.
Oh wow!
Yep, burner. If you want to build a burner at home, it's going to cost you $200.
And that's an official like Muppet set kit.
Yeah. Copyright pending. Paul, your mic work?
Yes, it should.
Okay,
It should be
good.
working.
Just
as long
checking
as
if
you-
we're
as long as you
all
got me
still
turned
here.
on.
Are copyrighted.
Let's do that cool news thing we do every week that makes us more important to people. All right. Hold on. We're going to put your cool intro. Cool intro.
From around the world, around the country, around the corner. Around and around and around we go. It's Nug Life Radio, Nug News with Benjie.
All right, well, keeping in step with your tolerance story at the top of the hour, within the world of cannabis, there exists a certain percentage of the population that has developed a high tolerance to THC, even with edibles. But Zen Cannabis is making a chocolate bar that I believe no stoner can take. Zen Cannabis has announced that it will unveil on 4/20 a 4.2 milligram milk chocolate bar that it has named the Big Zen. According to the company, the Big Zen is the largest, most potent, dominantly dosed, and the most expensive cannabis chocolate bar ever made. The 9-foot by 4-foot bar took 360 hours to create, with 12 people working on it 6 hours a day. The resulting 420-pound bar required 12 40-gallon vats of more than 100 pounds of cannabis flower to make. And Special Projects Manager Evan Sen says the Big Zen team could not be more fired up about this record-breaking landmark feat. It's not every day you make history, and we're doing it here in Oklahoma City. We put a secret twist on our signature Zen chocolate bar recipe to create the Big Zen bar. Zen Cannabis says the price tag on the massive chocolate bar is a whopping $42,000.
Jesus.
Now, my PR contact told me the bar is completely finished, and the photographer was taking pictures of it yesterday, and I believe I will have access to those, the next week or two, so I will keep you all posted.
So you have to eat 1 million of the milligrams to or 4 point. So if you want to eat, you have to eat the whole 9-foot bar. So it's kind of spread out. Yeah, it's kind of
4.2 million milligrams. Anybody that thinks they have a high tolerance, good luck.
My headphones just broke, Benji. So, but I can still hear you because we have surround. So people think too, because I remember back in the day the 420 bar, which was supposed to be 420 milligrams, but now knowing that there was no testing or anything, who knows what they put in there? I'm just dumped a bunch of RSO.
Who was it that had the black bar? It was 1,000 milligram bar.
I remember that one too. Didn't it like pop out of LA or something and kind of work its way?
Something like that. I remember we talked about it on the show years ago, and Hopper, when he was co-hosting, he was just like practically, he was ready for that one. He's like, yeah, I want to volunteer that one and see how it goes.
Oh, these headphones I'm wearing right now are so gross feeling. Like, did you saw somebody's head right? Or these are like his butt warmer?
They were pre-warmed for you.
Oh, they're so warm. So, how are they gonna distribute this candy bar? Are they just gonna?
I haven't heard
one
yet.
One guy's gonna buy it and get a bunch of Instagram views.
I'll have to ask my PR contact and see what more of the details on that. I would guess that since they're unveiling it on 420, I would guess that they're gonna figure out
at an
either
event
have some
or
sort
something.
of event that day and chop it up, or figure out some other method of chopping it up.
One
and distributing
damn raisin in that thing, I swear to God. No.
See, I wouldn't mind. I actually like raisins.
I don't like edibles that are too strong, man. It's like I'm starting to trip. When we would do the hemp cons, we'd eat weed all day, Auntie Amy's. We'd have like breakfast sandwiches with weed. Like everything she made had weed, eggs, sausage, macaroni and cheese. And then you would eat all the samples that they would throw at us. And then we would be on thousands of milligrams. I ate like 100 milligrams of gummies the other day. I was like, I'm going to call Jay Caruso. Somebody spiked this. What company? And I even saved the bag. I'm like, save the bag. That one's spiked.
Before this, I think the biggest edible I'd ever seen was down at a sesh down in Mission Bay. It was Super Baked Edibles made it. And I'm trying to remember how, I think it was 10,000 milligrams, but that's nowhere close to 4.2 million.
I got to ask Rob Van Dam about being poly.
Yes, you did.
Points for me on that one. You ever thought about it, Benji? Disappointing
no, not
two
really.
women at the same time.
Getting
It's my life
one
goal.
is difficult enough, so like getting two.
I want to see two sad faces that'll just look at me like, you're not providing enough. It's hot.
Thing is, I provide quite a bit.
I don't. I don't. Not enough for
I bring
one.
much
barely.
to the table.
Not enough for one. After I bought my PS5, I'm just like, sorry, all finances are tied up for the year. So, what else you got in the news?
Well, if you're looking for a cannabis-related activity that isn't a dispensary on your next Las Vegas trip, you are in luck. Well, at least for the next couple of months anyways, because a Stonerific new cannabis-centric show is starting in town next month. On April 15th, the Smokus Pocus cannabis-themed magic show will begin its 2-month residency at Area 15. At center stage will be magician and cannabis connoisseur Ben Zabin, who has been touring with the show in Canada and the United States since 2021. And Zabin will perform shows Wednesday through Monday at 7 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. and will deliver a performance full of teleporting objects, mind reading, and other magic tricks that some have called mind-blowing, with plenty of what the moments. Smokus Pocus tickets are $30 for adults over the age of 21, and tickets for anyone younger than that don't exist.
Is it a weed-themed magic, or you just get to smoke weed while you watch magic?
It is a cannabis-themed magic show, and I think it was only a matter of time before something like this landed at Area 15. That place is pretty trippy. I haven't been there, but all the imagery I've seen is just off the wall. It looks really fun, though.
I'm hoping to get a residency for comedy out there, for weed comedy. We'll see how it goes.
Well, that sounds like it might be the place to do it. Or what's that hotel that's converting to the one they're converting like one of their floors?
Not the Aria. The
I mentioned it a couple months ago in a story.
It's the thing about smoking weed, yeah, me either.
You know how many news stories I do every week?
Shout out to those guys.
Just one of those Vegas hotels. You were very familiar with it because they've had events there in the past.
Not the Rio? We did. Well, the Rios had the cannabis. I hosted the cannabis something career. I don't know. It was always educational.
I think it's off the strip, I think. If I remember correctly.
Yeah, I don't know. I've done like gay bars, strip clubs. I get off the strip pretty rapidly. Green Door had a hustler club. Don't touch the poles. Were you at that one? Remember where we didn't want to nobody wanted to touch the poles?
Yes, I was at that one.
We were all excited. We're getting to do a strip club. We're like, yeah. And then you get there. This is the dude side. Like, it was where the guys dance.
I did the Sapphire. The Sapphire was pretty cool.
Did they put you where the girls or where the guys dance?
They put you in the main room where there's the big old, like, catwalk going out. So it looked like a big
that's the
theater.
main. Yeah, that's their main stage. Yeah. No, ours were just nuts dragged up and down the pole. We're just like, don't touch the pole.
They couldn't have the comedy section, the comedy show in the regular section because,
people are paying for women
you'd
there.
be telling jokes while people are getting lap dances and,
Yeah, that's never a good time.
You're like, move, by the way, I can't hear the comic,
I lit a blunt up in a comedy club once. I was all VIP'd in there, or it was in a strip club. And a friend of mine bought me a lap dance, Thomas. And I'm smoking the blunt. And this girl, which was like built like a twig. I had no desire, and I'm just like, she's dancing on me, and I'm just blowing smoke at her, and she's just coughing through the whole dance. And I'm like, you're going to finish this song. I'm not putting it out. What else you got in the news, sir?
You do. Well, you may have mixed emotions about this next story, but let's go. If you're familiar with cannabis growing operations, you should be aware that temperature regulation plays an important role. Indoor grows can generate a lot of heat from the lighting system, and if there's a cloning room, it needs to be kept cool. And so, temperature regulation systems are commonly used in grows, legal or not, but one particular grow op in South Wales in the UK is missing its cooling system, though it is still being put to good use. Bridgend police raided an illegal grow op on Saturday, March 11th, where about 800 cannabis plants were growing. And besides the hundreds of plants, among the confiscated items were the grow op's cooling units, which have been repurposed by police, much to the benefit of some of the UK's elderly population. The police donated 30 new wall-mounted ventilation fans to residential care homes throughout Bridgend. Rhiann Davis from the Oaklands home said, "I know when some of the staff collected the fans off policemen the other day, it was a bit of a surprise as we didn't know too much about it. But it's come at a really good time before summer. As it gets hotter, we always look to install ventilation to make sure our residents aren't dehydrated. When the weather gets hotter, the fans are really good for keeping the residents cool." So the fans have gone from cooling mature cannabis plants to cooling mature humans. So, either way, Mike, I'd say they're being put to good use.
I don't. Wait, did the cops steal the cops stole these cooling units from somebody who's just growing a plant and then gives them to some old people who probably don't deserve it. That's why they're in homes, because their families didn't want to take care of them. So these are like the nastiest, bitterest old people,
right?
Sucking up all this good plant. I prefer the 800 plants.
Respect for our elders.
I'm for the tar pits where you put them on the iceberg and you float them out, and life will take it from there. I think that's crap.
Funerals for everyone, right?
I think that's crap.
Yeah, there might be mixed
it's good
emotions.
that it's good that they're putting cold air on old people, I'm sure. But why isn't the state paying for that? Why are they stealing? Because I'm sure the court case isn't over yet or whatever. They're just like hot old people. We're going to take this evidence, and go ahead and distribute it out.
In other words, the old people shouldn't be cold until they're found guilty.
Right, exactly. That's a very good. Yes.
Well, basically what you're saying.
Well, honestly, if the grow op was in the UK and the police raided the spot, they're pretty much guilty already.
Well, you've now made an incentive for the police there to go steal. Which is what they're doing. They're stealing. Like, he's got $1 million there. We're going to take that.
Incentive before.
Yeah, $1 million in machines.
It's kind of like whenever they bust the big drug dealers with all those fancy cars or Suburbans or whatever, like Hummers and stuff. It's probably like, we're going to reappropriate this and make this part of the SWAT team.
No, you melt it down.
Those go to auctions and people buy, fancy cars for like 10, 15 grand.
Stolen cars.
My hometown will actually turn yours into an undercover car.
I've seen that happen before.
Yeah.
Lambos, Corvettes.
That's motivation to steal. No other job can you go out there. Like if I work at a bank and I find a bank error, I don't get to keep a piece of the error that I find.
I'd start becoming a banker if I could.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you're going to be growing though in a place where it's illegal, you just need to make sure that you're not getting caught.
Yeah, that was a little greedy.
All your equipment.
Yeah, that was a little greedy. 800 plants and stuff, but somebody took it up the butt on that one. You know, they have an investor somewhere that the dude was like, "Give me 3 weeks, bro. I'm gonna make you rich."
And you know what? This kind of thing happens quite a bit over in the UK. Like in the search for my stories every week, I run into so many stories about raids over in the UK and then confiscating plants, confiscating equipment, all kinds of stuff. It's like it was here in California years ago, and like it still is in some states, but it seems like they like really hit it hard over there. And as far as legalization, I don't know what poll this was. I read one recently where they said 63% of the residents weren't for cannabis legalization. I think it should be legalized over there, at least for medicinal purposes. There's epileptic children over there that have.
See, that's a good way to repurpose. If you steal my 800 plants, and it's stealing, you steal my 800 plants, and I find out you're giving it to epileptic children or, cancer or something to the plus, then I can swallow that better and be like, okay. But not old people. Not old people. Not with my air.
My cold air for my plants.
That's who's paying the electric on that? Oh, I guess the city wins again.
Win-win.
Sorry, Grandma, we can't use these. They came from a.
Well, you can. Cannabis. People's taxes. You take their taxes, and the hardworking people that are, would have been smoking that weed to ease their mind.
What's the difference? Taxes are stealing too. So.
Yeah. You know what? We need some kind of revolution with them. No.
Maybe people should be caring for their
throw some tea in the water.
grandparents and their parents when they get to be old.
Well, you should. My kids, I'll kill them. They don't take care of me. I'll kill them now. I got to look in their eye and feel like you might not take care of me in like 20 years when I need it. I'll drown you right now in a river.
Oh, so it should be the.
That's how it is here. I took care of my dad till he passed, and then I'm figured to take care of my mom till she passed.
And then now you got to make some little kids and be like, okay, or they'll pop up when they turn 18 and come find you out. You're like, all right, your job is this half of the yard.
I got to get on making those kids.
Is that all our news for today, sir?
That is all of the news for today. And if you'd like more news from me throughout the week, you can hit me up at my website or hit me up on Instagram. Nug Life News and at Cannageek News and my website cannageek.net. I swear I can talk.
Unless you think he's your dad, then wait till you're 18 and then come and bring a shovel because you're getting to work.
And then my name is Mike Boris.
Yeah. Oh, you don't want that name. There'll be a crowd of kids, crowd of illegitimate children, like crayons, one of every color. You could see my
they
tour.
Won't be looking me up. They'll be looking you up.
No, they'll be looking up Michael Boris, and I have you verbally saying you're Michael Boris. Paul, can we cut that part out? I'm going to need it.
We'll take care of it in post.
Send it to CPS.
It'll be a Spartacus moment.
Send it to CPS. We finally found Michael Boris. I got some angry kids. You kind of look like you're related. You could pass for their dad, too. Thank you very much. I want to thank Rob Van Dam, too, for joining us today. Appreciate you. Got a whole tour of the house. It was cool. We don't usually have people on video. And he was cool. We saw him from the post office, driving. Imagine if
you didn't notice the one thing.
Like a little fender bender.
You said he was doing like regular stuff. So right before you announced him, he had his receipt from the post office, and he was rolling it up like a joint. Then he started licking it.
I saw that. Yeah, he's cracking us up in the background. We should have been filming the back stuff. That was just as funny. Big shout out, and don't forget to Paul Brumbaugh and Edge Studios Online, and don't forget that April 15th is Kushstock. April 20th is the Farmers Cup in San Diego. April 22nd is Wrestle Sesh with the Godfather out there in Los Angeles. What else? I don't know. I'm only going up to that. After that, I'm taking like a week off.
A lot of events happening next month.
I know what it is, right around that April 20th cluster, and everybody starts getting froggy.
Yeah.
I just had Denver. They wanted me to go out there, but it was like next week, and I'm like, or it's the 24th. I'm like, I have the 22nd. I don't think I'm going to try and get there by the 24th.
It's like people don't stay high the rest of the year. 420.
But in Denver, if you're up there, they got an event going April 24th. I don't remember what it's called, but I know it's hosted by Devin the Dude. And then Hawaii has something coming up here on 420 that I don't know. Someone tried to score tickets off me, and I'm like, I'm not hosting to Hawaii. But I did 10 years ago, so I should still know somebody. Thank you, guys. We're the Nug Life Radio Show, and we will see you again next week with God knows who I pull out of my phone book. We're done.